I'm Dennis Bartram. What I want to show you in this section is how the spinal dynamics can be applied to anti-gravity positions. So we developed this room because many years ago when I went to the lakes we would crawl up some of the gills and boulders and found that the spinal dynamics movements was exactly what I wanted to perpetuate ancient man's movements. I tried to do this at home in the garden on various rocks and that was fine, but we didn't have anything upright, and in the winter we were bereft of being able to climb on the rocks. So we developed this kind of thing. So ancient man might be wading in water and need to climb out of a terrain. So it doesn't require the massive arm strength, it's spinal dynamics, and that's why ancient man wouldn't have big pectoral muscles or big arm muscles, because you're using the spine in a totally different way. So when we look at this and we want to climb, we also need the pendulum action to the spine to lift us up. So if I'm holding these two here, then I won't be able to just swing and then use one of those pendulum movements to give me a cohesion on the rocks. So as I'm climbing up further, then I'm looking to go upside down, and as you get upside down, and I've only got soft tabbies on, so I haven't got climbing shoes on. This is not about a climbing concept. So climbing along, using different leverages of the spine to keep me upright. Now if I was to fall down, then I go down, and I simply use spinal dynamics to pick myself back up and utilise those dynamics in that way. Here we come to the rope, so I've got hold of a rope, and I can again utilise the upright upside down spinal dynamics to work down the rope. So ancient man would have climbed down ropes along gullies, things like that. He might have used this to traverse or come around and eventually do right back to the ground. And again, using a rope, if you look at people developing six packs in a car, if you use the spinal dynamics, one simple thing you can do to switch all the flexor muscles on in the body is to simply use the poise of the head and tip it forward, which actually switches reflexogenically or reflexly all the muscles that would swing me up. So I don't need to use my arms to pull up to the rope. I don't need to use my abdominal muscles. I need to use a reflex behaviour that's inherent in our spinal dynamics. So here I can just go and then slowly bring my legs up onto the rope, and I can take them off the rope and keep them in position and bring them slowly down. And it's these kind of actions that come from the spine rather than the muscles, and not a strong abdominal set of muscles. It's the inner core torsion that makes this happen. So that's how ancient man would have moved around. So I can't jump. If we jumped up, but we need to go upwards from that position, then we simply need to use the flexor, and then we're upright and upside down, and again ready for action. So you can see I can spread on there, hold myself in an anti-gravity position without strong musculature. At the age of 65, that allows me to maintain these spinal dynamics and other qualities I want for moving. Here we have a replication of walking on pebbles. So as we're walking across the pebbles, this is one of the things that ancient man would have walked on, those different contours, would have exercised his feet, reflexogenically working his organs. We come down to the mats and we want to crawl. We look at some of the replications of crawling, and using the spinal dynamics we can bring the legs up to here. It's not so much the quads or the leg muscles that are doing these kind of activities. You bring the body into different positions, and so simply moving around like this to me is much more useful than some of the set postures that exercise routines have. It's about using the spine and being able to work. I saw the other day a man able to do the plank for 25 minutes at the age of 79. Very useful, but it's like, but can you move around from these positions? This is what we're losing. This is the ability just to be able to roll over and turn over. So even rolling on a mat. Children learn to roll, and lots of children learn to roll this way over the head. And I look at neck injuries and things, and that's not the way to roll. We should be able to just roll over our shoulders naturally and roll in different directions and using spinal dynamics just to keep the agility in the spine. This is more rolling, and this is more akin to play than a structured roll that has to be ticked and marked in a competition. It's just about switching the limbic brain on, the limbic abilities of the body in a movement orientated space. So that's why we developed this room, for that three-dimensional movement and to show the dynamics of the spine as a power base.